time.
Whoa, 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 whoa. As the intro just yelled in your ear holes. Welcome to Murder Moose Podcast.
Welcome.
Part of the Slashing Cast Podcast Network.
It's in the game. It's in the game.
It's in the game.
It's in the game. It's in my butt.
Oh.
How are you today? Both of you.
I am freezing. How are you?
I'm actually been cold and hot all day. You can see I had a hoodie on, and then I came down here to record, and now I have a tank top on. So, yeah, Colorado's
it's heating up in here. It's heating up in here.
It's just Josh's sexiness just travels across countries to make my nipples sweat weird.
It's true. Josh is quite the hot.
That's why we go, ooh, Daddy Josh. Ooh. And now Josh is shadow boxing. I don't know if those punches were aimed at me or at
me.
I don't know. It's just a sound effect, man.
Man, it's never just a sound effect, Josh. It's a attack. It's a viral video attack.
Attack on Titan. Attack on this movie.
Yes, we're talking about a movie called Perpetrator here in a little bit, but we'll get to that in a little bit. This should be an interesting
It's got a
discussion.
cool enough poster. That's all I got to say. But I also this week watched a weird one that I had never seen before from 2003. Dracula 2 Ascension. It had to be 2 because I think I saw Dracula 2000, which it's a sequel of. But Deanna was like, "Oh, we have to watch this movie that I grew up and was obsessed with." And she's like, "Dracula Ascension." And I was like, "Ascension?" And I was like looking into it. I was like, "You mean Dracula 2 Ascension? Like what?" I didn't know it was part of the trilogy. And she's like, "Yeah, no, that one specifically." And I was like, "Huh? What?" And I was like, I'm so interested now because she never likes watching horror movies with me. We've been watching we watched Hocus Pocus and we watched Hocus Pocus 2. And I'm getting her in the spooky mood. And she's like, "Oh, Dracula Ascension." I'm like, "What is this?" It was so funny. It's such a random movie to be like, this is the one, but it's super nostalgic for her. And I'm like, man, I love how cheeseball and early 2000s this movie is.
Oh,
it's perfect. It's amazing.
I mean, so I've been to one movie on Christmas. One movie in my 40 years on this earth on Christmas, and it was Dracula 2000. And because it came out, and it came out on Christmas. And that movie is so forgettable. Besides one factor in their mythos,
that's a guy from
in that
Hackers
movie,
in it, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't remember.
And Gerard
forgettable.
Butler?
Remember?
What the fuck?
I think he's Dracula in that movie, actually. But
he is.
But the Dracula is actually Judas in that mythos, and that's why he's Dracula, because God curses him for turning in Jesus, basically. And that is why in that mythos, Dracula silver fucks him up because he got all the silver for turning Jesus.
I have
into
never
the
heard this.
Yeah, it's the mythos in that movie, and it's the only thing I think. What's the black guy from the beginning of Scream 2? I think he's
Omar Epps. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a pretty forgettable movie besides that mythos. Otherwise, I don't remember anything else about it. But
there's so many big names in the first one. In the second one, the only big name or name of the person that I knew was that guy from Jason Landon. He was in Grind and all those other he was in Rage Carry 2 and a bunch of random things from the early 2000s. He was also in that show Seventh Heaven.
Seventh Heaven.
It is
sorry.
Direct to DVD horror movie sequels is a real easy place to go if you're looking for bad movies. I
but
still
early
think
2000s, it had that aesthetic, and every cameo or like other person that was randomly in the movie to just be killed off was a buxom woman of some sort, because that was the early 2000s. It's like, if you're going to be in the movie, you have to have big boobs.
Okay,
that was the only.
I have a question. Is you calling it Dracula 2? Does that assume they somehow bring Dracula back to life in this movie because he's
not in the second one? Dracula's not even in the fucking movie. It's
then
a
why is it
sequel to
called
Dracula 2000.
I
but
know.
Dracula himself isn't even in the movie. It's just a vampire. I don't know. I haven't seen the third one. It's about this like priest who goes around and he's a crazy like ninja. It's crazy. He's like chopping heads off.
All that makes me think of is Dead Alive and the Kung Fu Priest, who is one of my favorite characters ever. And if they did, Peter Jackson needs to stop making shitty fantasy movies and fucking come make a whole make the Kung Fu Priest from Dead Alive and make a whole spinoff about how he's the best character of all time, because he is the best character of all time.
I really wish I was here for that episode where you did Dead Alive, because I would have loved to have jumped into that one.
I think that was during Josh's he was on the run from the law. AKA he was framed for his wife's murder by the one-armed man, and he I'm just making fugitive jokes. By the way, I saw a video the other day on YouTube about how in the original script for The Fugitive, Tommy Lee Jones' character was the murderer. Dun, dun, dun. But yeah. Dun, dun, dun.
Harrison Ford, man. I tried to watch. Actually, okay, so I put on Indiana Jones and I was like, what the fuck is this? This is not Indiana Jones. It is a mess. I still have 25 minutes left of that movie. I'm never going to watch it because I don't give a fuck.
I like that movie, man.
I think
it was significantly better. I'm not saying it's a great movie, but it's significantly better than the Crystal Skull one. And
yes, but that was the beginning of the end for me. Crystal Skull, come on. And
Crystal
you know what's
Skull
funny
vodka?
about that one? But that came out before Disney was just like, you know what people want? Everything all the time, and just make it shitty. Who cares? It was like the first sequel of an Indiana Jones movie in a long time. So people were excited about it. My friends were extremely excited about it because it was their favorite franchise from growing up and stuff. So they preemptively bought 3 tickets back to back to back for that movie, not knowing that it was going to be the Crystal Skull. So I only had time, because I was working that day, to go and see it on their third time seeing it. So I get in lineup and I'm amped. I'm like, yeah, we're going to see a new Indiana Jones movie. How was it, guys? And they're like, can't say anything. You don't want to spoil it for you. Fuck. I'm like, afterwards, I'm like, you guys seriously saw this piece of shit 3 times today? They're like, yeah.
Dude, I think the amount of times I've been to a movie more than once in the theater is about once, let alone 3 times in a row.
It was they were like, they had the day off. They were like, let's just like, space it out enough so we can hit the bar in between and get a bunch of beers and make a good, fun like day off about it. And they were like exhausted by the time I saw them. They're like, fuck this day.
I mean, you imagine sitting down the second time, let alone the third time, to Harrison Ford getting in a refrigerator and
man,
blown.
I was the smart one that day. Holy shit.
And let alone, the scene that still makes me angry in that movie is fucking Shia LaBeouf swinging through the fucking like the trees like Tarzan faster than like speeding trucks. That movie makes me angry. It makes me angry.
I just added all the ginger snaps to my server, and it makes me really want to watch them, because those are
I love the first
movies.
one. I've never seen any of the other ones. I've only seen.
I've
the first
heard
one.
that the second one is a really good fucking sequel. I haven't seen the other ones either. I've only seen the first one, so That would be a fun thing. Maybe.
I wonder why you were thinking about ginger snaps. This movie is just like Ginger Snaps 101, man. It is Ginger Snaps just with like weird powers and whatnot. It's basically when your vagina starts bleeding, weird things happen in LA.
Yeah, but this is
because
not...
she's been bleeding before that.
Yeah.
When you turn 18.
This one's lore didn't make any fucking sense.
Nope.
They didn't explain it at all, and there's just like sphincters everywhere.
Okay, before we get into that, I haven't been watching anything else. I watched the second season of Killing It on Peacock, which is the show with Craig. What's his name? The big black guy from like The Office, and Craig. What's his name? Can't think of his fucking name. The comedian guy.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Him, and he's basically, it's like how he gets rich over like a period of time, but like it's all this really bad stuff happening to him in the meantime. The guy, I'm not 100% sure, but the guy, one of the bad guys in the show is the I think he's like one of the bad guys from Silicon Valley. So like that show, which I still need to go back and finish that. I think I watched the first 2 seasons and then never finished it, but I like Silicon Valley.
That fucking dumb guy with his career is just like, oh, everyone loves me. I'm just gonna fuck off on this show that made me who I am. And the way they wrote him off of that show was fucking funny. Yeah, fuck him. Who gives a shit?
I just love the hand job scene of how many guys can you jerk off.
That was a good fucking show.
The calculus of how many guys could you jack off at a time. Okay, we're gonna have a competition for Murder Moose. All 3 of us are gonna go in and get a half an hour and see how many guys we could jerk off in a half an hour. And whoever wins is the jack off champion of Murder Moose. Okay.
See, I'd like to say that it would be me, but the thing is that you guys know more of what you guys like, so it would probably be one of you.
I think it's Rod is the winner. Rod is the wiener.
I'm the jack-off champion of Murder Moose. Yeah.
Somebody needs to make that into like a sticker, or like that he can wear. I don't know.
In a t-shirt. There's things on my Discord that the people, my people in my Discord do to me that I'm just like, I don't know why any of this is happening, and it's horrifying and hilarious at the same time. So yeah.
How about you, Kin? Have you watched anything?
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't remember anything of this week.
ADD.
I straight up, I remember driving back and forth to Knoxville a bunch. I remember cooking dinner a few times. I don't remember anything else at this moment. It's very scary.
Ken, were you hit
She's
over
in
the head
middle of stuff
recently?
I honestly, so like I did start a new medication last night, but that shouldn't be the issue. But like, I like today we were talking about it on stream, and somebody was like, "Yeah, what good horror movies have been out?" And I was like, "Oh, well, I've been watching a lot of them." And I stopped and I was like, "What the fuck have I been watching?" I even pulled up the Murder Moose podcast website to like flip through to be like, "What have we watched lately?"
I do that.
I saw you watch
every day of my life. It's nothing. It's
like,
nothing.
But like I could not tell you. Like I would really have to stop and think. Like, okay, well, what did I do? And the funny thing is I think it's because I've been so busy that everything just runs together. And then when I'm done with it, my brain's like, "All right, you're done. Like, check out.
Go to sleep now."
So
I think I saw you watch the last voyage of the whatever.
Oh God, I fell asleep. I tried.
Did you watch that, Rod?
Oh
yeah, it was okay. It was fine.
Would it be something that I would get bored?
Oh, probably.
Like it was good, but I was really, really tired anyway, like beyond tired. I don't know how I made it as far into it as I did, but it was
It's one of those. The problem with that movie is that you basically know the ending regardless, because you know it's that Dracula gets to London and then fucks shit up in London, and it's just like, so you're sitting there the whole time going, and then you stare at the little kid from the movie and you're like, it's the kid from Cobweb. And
it's the kid from Cobweb. He's playing a 9-year-old on that one. Yeah. And he's 14. So
yeah. He's a cute little kid, but
he is a cute little kid.
He's obviously not a little kid because he's 14, so he's a cute kid. So.
There's that Haunting of the Queen Mary as well. Like all these fucking movies come out at the same time. It kind of looks like it's trying to be what is that, Ghost Ship or something?
Yeah, that's what I thought when I saw it because I looked at it today.
Ghost Ship has some fucking awesome death scenes though. That one where they're just like, and they all get cut. That's
the only thing rememberable about that movie is the opening scene where everyone gets cut in half.
Yeah, it was
and
nuts.
That's what I
did not see that coming.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's got man. Sorry.
It's got that cutesy music, like, and then everyone gets cut in half.
Yeah, I was like, oh, holy shit.
That's
that and 12. What is it? 12 Ghosts or whatever?
13
Ghosts. Fuck yeah, that movie has some wicked death scenes in it too. I heard they're remaking that or some shit, or making it into a show or something.
I heard something about that yesterday, just out of the blue. I don't even know where I heard about that.
Dude, I have to say,
I heard them saying something was like it on a podcast I was listening to.
I just saw the first part of a trailer on YouTube for the new Exorcist movie, and it looks so bad. I thought it was a TV. I thought it was a TV horror show. I was like, "What is this garbage?" I was like, "Are they just trying to capitalize on the new Exorcist movie coming out?" And no,
it is.
Like, oh no!
Yeah.
I was like, "Why does it look so cheaply made?" And I know it's a Blumhouse, but like.
That Haunting of Queen Mary has Alice Eve in it. She's a babe.
Who's Alice Eve?
She's the blonde from that. Actually, she was in Entourage for a second, but she
never watched Entourage.
She's Out of My League. That movie with.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Movie.
Yeah, with Jay Baruchel. She's the out of his league hottie.
The porn star who moves next door, like it's the most simp movie of all time. Where like this normal dude has a porn
TJ Miller's in that one too. The guy from fucking the show that we were just talking about. Wow.
Yeah, and Deadpool, and he's such a douchebag that they're like, no, we don't want him back for Deadpool. He seems like a miserable piece of shit. So
did he get like blacklisted for being a piece of shit?
Basically,
he canceled himself.
Sorry.
At least he didn't get sent to jail for 40 years for like the guy from that 70s show. Yikes.
Lord.
40 years
or 30 years. He got convicted of multiple rapes, and Danny Masterson or whatever his name is. Yeah. And then now everyone
he was in Dracula 2000.
Was he?
Weird.
Dude, he then now everyone's trying to cancel everyone that wrote letters trying to support him.
They're going after Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis.
And everyone else that the parents from that 70s show tried to write like letters to support him. And like,
I'm gonna be honest, these people have got to stop writing letters, because Iggy Azalea just got hit with writing a letter for somebody, and like I don't even remember who it was. Like, but you got to stop writing these letters because they're going public. They're not private anymore.
Yeah,
stop.
they're physical evidence to get you canceled in 2020.
Yeah, just stop.
Why is this cancel culture such a huge thing still? I don't get it.
I don't know, because
everybody needs a reason to make themselves feel big.
Yeah,
it's so fucking dumb.
Then you have the right side of the media and stuff, like the other side that like their whole point is like, oh fuck cancel culture, blah. Like you have that Falling in Reverse song about Zombify where he's just mad about people being canceled and shit, and it's just like, that's because you're an idiot, Ronnie Radke. But like,
oh god, now Ronnie's gonna come after us.
Yeah, I know.
I actually really like that song.
I like that song too. I saw him live at Red Rocks because Ice Nine Kills opened up for him, and I'm just like, it's such a shame this guy is such a moron, because he's vastly talented and vastly entertaining and put on a hell of a show, and then he tore his jumpsuit open and didn't do what do you call it? The song after you stop. What is it called?
An encore.
An encore. Yeah, I couldn't think of the word, but yeah. Okay, we're here, and we're gonna talk about a movie Josh picked.
It was a random scroll through of my Plex and went, oh, look at this poster. But look at the poster. Seriously, it's right fucking here. It has a good amount of contrast. It catches your eye. It's a good array of red faces with really stark eyes and teeth. It catches your fucking eye. I was like, Alicia Silverstone in a movie? Shudder original? Those things, for me, well, not Alicia Silverstone. She's not really a get, but I was like, I want to see what she's doing, you know? Like, I like her.
I like her a lot.
Yeah. I'm going to read this synopsis for Perpetrator from 2023, and it reads as follows. Johnny, who's a woman, a wild and impulsive teenage girl living precariously in a town where young women continue to go missing, and the power she's forced to unlock to survive. So, this movie, I want to say immediately.
I have such a different one on my Plex. I don't understand. She's
I don't know.
Reckless teen sent to live with her estranged aunt. On the event of her 18th birthday, she experiences a radical metamorphosis. Like,
I will have to say, I want to say real quick one thing, and then I want to say something else. But one thing, her perioding and under the bathroom carpet I was like, bleh.
She's 29 years old playing an 18-year-old.
I mean, she looks young. I don't know if she looks 18 years young.
Yeah, she definitely doesn't look 18. But I think
her hair was
also
fucking fantastic. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I think that her age discrepancy probably plays into some of the overtones of, or not the overtones, but like the theory in the movie itself dealing with the age dynamics. So there's like a whole thing about like women, you know, having to deal with getting older and the effects of how it makes you feel and how people treat you.
Yeah. I mean, this movie, it's very much, it's directed and written by a woman named Jennifer Reeder. I kept thinking of Ginger Snaps, and I was talking about Ginger Snaps earlier. I don't know if it was while we were recording or not, but it was in
your sleep.
Oh, it was. Okay. Makes sense. Because Ginger Snaps is about like hitting puberty for a woman and what it does to you, right? And they use werewolves as a allegory for this. But this is like very much
Jeez, fucking spoiler alert. Holy fuck, man.
Josh, eat my ass, okay?
This movie is that's the presence of this movie. It really wants someone to just eat that asshole. Just eat it. There's assholes everywhere. Just fucking eat it. Why aren't you eating it yet?
They weren't assholes. They really looked more like, I don't know.
That was a fucking asshole, man.
I mean, but then it looked like a vagina. It looked like a vagina underneath because like when he started bleeding at the end, it looked like a vagina.
Have you ever seen an asshole?
I've seen one or two. Yes.
It looks exactly like that.
I mean, I don't know about exactly.
I love the question in the Discord though. Is the asshole a portal? Ken's like, wait, I haven't watched it yet. What the fuck?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Ken.
Would either of you ever bleach your asshole?
I don't know the point.
I wouldn't because I don't think.
I think
it's a weird
spick and span.
There is one part of your body that no one's ever going to look at unless they take pictures or look into a mirror directly. Your asshole is like the no zone of seeing. So like, I don't know, unless you're doing porn. I've never
seen an asshole that really would like benefit overly from it. If I did, I'd be like, oh man, you really need to bleach your asshole. But honestly, I've never seen an asshole that is like, man, you know what? You would benefit from bleaching that asshole because they're not like super dark or like discolored or anything. The ones I've seen,
some of them are. Some of them are.
That's what I'm saying. I haven't seen anything in person that would benefit from it. But if I did stumble across one, I would be like, oh, okay, I guess bleaching your asshole is a thing for a reason.
I don't think. I think it's an insecurity, and it's a thing of like people are like, oh, we're gonna get more money off of convincing people they need to. Like, someone who loves assholes, I'm just like, you just leave your asshole how it is, baby.
So
and I will.
Fucking Rod loves this movie.
I didn't love it. I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was weird. It was a ride, but I enjoyed it.
Carry on.
My wayward son. No,
Yes.
okay. My other thing about this movie is I was joking around about it before we started. How it very much, I was joking that it's Ari Aster remakes Ginger Snaps, but I was thinking about it while we're talking. I really think this is like what would happen if you took like the fuck is that name? God damn it! I'm having the worst brain fart of all time. That video game where you're like you can rewind time, and it's like it's like like you're a teenage girl. Ken, you've probably played this, and you have your girlfriend that you kind of love, and then you like, what is that fucking game called?
Life is Strange.
Yeah, Life is Strange. It's like Life is Strange had sex with Ginger Snaps, and then it was like, because it's got that weird. This movie is very like.
Oh,
watched.
Wait! I just noticed, and I forgot. 1 second. Here. Look at this. I got a moose on my wall now for Murder Moose.
That's wonderful.
Just remembered. Sorry. Ah!
But if you've ever like, Life is Strange is such a weird, cool game, and I love the first one. I haven't played the newest one, the whatever spinoff, because they like it was supposed to have so much copyright music in it that like it was like you couldn't stream it, and I don't game outside of streaming.
Yeah.
Why would you? That would be like working after working.
Yeah. But this movie was very surreal. Like, it was like some of the other weird, surreal-y kind of movies we've been watching. We've been watching a lot of them, and it was like the tone of this movie was very odd. Like,
but the thing that this movie definitely did that, like, it adds to that surrealist feeling and stuff. And these are the things that I'm not the biggest fan of. Like, I feel like it did it all right, but it's that the intercutting between like scenes that have nothing to do with one another and stuff, especially like straight from the beginning of the movie. It's just like it opens and all of a sudden it's doing something else, and it's doing this like, oh, this movie's going to go in this weird, like very artistic direction, and it started really quickly. And I'm not the biggest fan of it. I'm not saying this movie was bad by any means, because it was very ambitious with what it was trying to do. I wasn't a huge fan with how it was put together, but yeah, it was still watchable movie. I watched it.
I mean, any movie that has a girl breaking into someone's locker and pulling out her anal vibrator gets a 2 thumbs up. I'm just
there was a lot of anal in this.
It's that weird tone of it though, like, because it's like none of it feels real. Like it's like, especially the school, which is that got the weird, like, they don't explain a lot of stuff in there. So like
this movie has an 81% on Rotten Tomatoes, and the audience score is 25%.
Nice. Remember how bad it was for like the stylist? Like the stylist was even worse. Like the
really?
like gap between that. Oh, did you guys see about Rotten Tomatoes has been paying off critics for years now? That came out the other day.
Especially for Disney and stuff. Like,
yeah.
What? No way.
No
Shit.
way.
No way. I'm surprised.
I'm very shocked. This is my shock face.
I'm shocked.
I'm shocked. Yeah, so I'm not surprised by that at all. But like,
oh no, it's this movie's way worse than The Stylist. Stylist is 90% and 42%.
Oh,
this movie is 81 and 25.
Okay, so this is what it is, and let's be real. This movie's weird, and weird always gets points in critics' books because they watch so many fucking movies that they're like, this is different, and that gets it like a thumbs up in my book, like automatically.
Yeah. It's got a bunch of sphincters. I fucking love it.
That, and I think the tones and like the story, it's written and directed by a woman. That probably gives it some points up for critics, and it tells a story about like women.
Wow.
Rod wants to be canceled. He wants to be canceled.
Okay.
I'm not being canceled.
Okay.
I'm saying
I'm just
fuck
kidding.
you both.
Very
Listen,
honest.
Full disclosure, Rod absolutely would never imply anything in the manner of which I was just implying. I just felt the need to throw that out there.
I'm just saying that there's critics who like, you talk about social things that are like, you know, in the whatever, and you get, even when it's not done perfectly, it gives it a legs up, you know, it gives it it's
uncancelable now because it is part of that column.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying it's bullshit about it. I'm saying that like when you do things and you talk about things that are like kind of like, you know.
He's saying if it was written and directed by a transgender person, it would have 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's not what I said, Josh, and I wouldn't say such a thing. I just think that Hollywood's such a weird place, man. That you go. I also think people are afraid to speak out against movies like this when that kind of stuff happens because they don't want to get canceled, right? They don't want to get in trouble for saying like this woman's expressionist horror movie about being, you know, a woman in America or whatever is bad, and then people are like, what, you hate women? America, and just like,
you hate women, you don't get to speak from a place of this because you are not XYZ. Like, absolutely, I totally get what you're saying,
America.
And I mean, it is pretty bad that that's kind of like where we're at in society as a whole, because we have reached a point where you can't necessarily criticize something or give a critique in a manner that is probably more so of what it deserves because of that. I think when it comes to this, especially based on the content of what's being discussed, I mean, not to speak in circles, but that's literally the problem. Not a problem, but see, I'm doing the same. Okay, back up.
It's just, this movie it's different. It's odd. It's like got that weird kind of like the thing that I wish about that, like, is that they do this thing where the character turns 18 and then like creates blood portals with her period blood, and then like whatever. But like,
I love when she meets her mom. It's just like, Mom?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you are my mom. Your face does that weird shit too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I called it real early that her dad was her mom because of like when the Alicia Silverstone said something about like your mom being whatever, and I'm like, oh, that means that this is like her dad was her mom, and I was right. And then I called pretty early that the fucking principal was the bad guy, but I did laugh about the tall guy that kept banging girls, and then like his dad.
Like, why would you keep like, okay, they're all making this connection of dude is banging these girls and then these girls are disappearing, and no one, not even the girls, are like, oh, well, maybe we should, you know, not fuck him because all of our friends keep dying and disappearing. But no.
This guy who's not a bad looking dude, don't get me wrong, but he's in this mystical, magical world that we're living in is so gorgeous that even the lesbian fucks him and gets pregnant. It's just like,
isn't he like the principal or some shit?
He's the police officer's son.
Oh, that guy.
You're also thinking of Piz.
Also, so what happens when the kid?
That's his name in Veronica Mars.
Yeah.
Oh.
The kid, they watch his dad carry this girl off, and then she disappears.
Yeah.
And no one does anything about it.
Nope.
No one's like, hey, maybe we should like notify, like, you know, some kind of fucking authority that isn't the cop that like for some reason was assaulting a couple of teenage girls doing weird dance moves and grandma masks. that was like the weird, like there are certain things in this movie that I'm just like, I don't quite understand.
Yeah.
Why they did some of the things, like the girls standing outside this building doing a dance, like TikTok dance routines while wearing like old lady, white lady grandma masks.
Well, I think they were trying to keep watch, and that was like their way of doing it, I guess. Right?
Yeah, but you stand out, right? Also, now I'm thinking of weird things like that. Why did the lesbian girls have her one eyebrow bleached? I don't know.
I thought that was cool as hell.
I didn't think it was bad. I just thought it was. I was like, that's you. That's interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very different. I thought it was cool.
I think I saw something like that in another movie recently, and I don't remember what the fuck it was though.
I hate that my attention span is going down the drain. It sucks. Like, I've always had a shitty attention span, but if a movie isn't, I don't even know. Like, because this movie isn't bad, and that was also a problem. Because if a movie is so like I was just saying before, the Dracula from 2003, it's not a good movie, but it plays into it in its time period, and it becomes that like, oh, it's so bad, it's good type vibe, and I'm like, I fucking love this. It's so cheesy, and then it gets my attention again. This movie isn't bad, but it's also not good either. So it's like, it's in that weird zone where I'm like, it's not gonna, it wasn't grabbing my attention as much as I really wanted it to. So I was distracted and not overly paying attention, and that's not good. That's not good.
I mean, and it's only an hour and 41 minutes, so it's in the sweet spot of where we like movies. It's weird. It's shot well. The movie is like, I don't think that they like,
they pulled from that Get Out type vibe where when they're falling into the sphincter portal into the blood and stuff, and they're like, I was kind of like falling into the nothing, which was
cool.
What
else this movie also reminded me of like I was like thinking American Psycho for some reason, because of the principal running around like school shooting people with a squirt gun. I don't know why it made me
such a wild scene. Oh my god, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Dead. Ha! I'm like, what is
that was wild.
Yeah.
Absolutely wild.
It's one of those scenes that really points out how surreal the movie is. That and like when she starts eating the lipstick.
Yeah.
So I really wish, because they have this thing where these family has something, that they would have done something to like, they don't explain it worth of shit besides saying it's genetic. And then they don't really, they don't give you any kind of like feeling of what they're supposed to be, right? At some point I thought she was going to be a werewolf that wasn't turning or whatever because of her teeth, but it's like, they're more like harpies or like.
At the end with the teeth, I was like, that is a new thing that they're just introducing towards the end of the movie.
No,
why?
The teeth were in it earlier at some point. Like, I think when she, when she had her blood, like when her nose started dripping or something like that at some point, which the nose bleeding everywhere. And it's just like.
There was blood everywhere in this movie, but for no real reason.
Well, it was like.
Apparently the reason was because of blood. Like it's to signify part of the feminine. It was part of it. There was a reason for it. Sorry. Yes.
Is it a period thing then? Is that what I'm assuming? It's a
period piece.
Yeah. Oh.
It's in the game.
That takes a whole meaning. What? Okay, so the first period, the scene where she fucking periods all over the carpet, and then her aunt is like fingering the carpet. I'm like, what in the fucking hell is going on in this film? I'm like, I will say, Alicia Silverstone's not in all that much of this film, but she kills it when she is.
She was honestly like the best part of I liked seeing her every time she was on, because she was She was bringing some sort of game. I don't know if it was a game, but she was bringing some game to this.
Hey, why did she make her a blood cake is my next question. Because that transitions into my final question about the last scene. But like, why a blood cake?
Watching Johnny pick up the cake and like, she's like holding it and eating it. And it's like so solid. I was like, this is weird. This is a weird moment for me.
I'm like, you had a fork. It was on a plate. And you just decided to like palm it like a basketball. Like you're like, it was like the most like you come home for the bar at 2 a.m. drunk as shit, and there's a cake on your counter, and you're like, I want cake. That, and then she's like, the other thing that she does that the girl that Johnny does, I'm like, what? She fucking turns her bed over because she's throwing a temper tantrum like a toddler. And then there's like, you later learn out that her mother had her on that bed, or had her, and then her stitches like split open on the bed from her C-section, which I don't think happens, but here we are. And she's just like lying in this,
but
like,
here we are.
Yeah, but here we are. She's lying on this mattress with this stain and just going, ah, and I'm just like, huh? Why? Why would you do that? Why would you? Huh?
Yeah, but that's what this movie was very good at, was raising questions and then not giving any real answer to those questions. And then it was just over.
Yeah, well, I mean, the last scene, can we talk about the last scene? Because the last scene in this film is her, Johnny, Alicia Silverstone, and all her friends eating the blood cake. Like they were also like Johnny. And I don't get what the fuck was happening there.
Yeah, I didn't really understand that part either at all, to be honest.
Because this is like a genetic thing, right? It's like passed down.
Yeah.
And why? Unless that's like how Alicia Silverstone like fucks with people. She's like, oh, you're 18 now. Eat this cake. I swear it's not like. Also, what? Okay. Johnny throws up about 3 pounds of blood into her toilet. And she's like, you owe me a new toilet. I'm like, why would that have ruined the toilet? You just need to flush the fucking toilet. Also, I keep saying also because there's so many odd little things in this film. She's hanging out in the lesbian girl's bathroom after they like had sex or something, and she like opens up a container and she starts poking it, and the girl had stuck her miscarriage in like a mint tin or something like that. You're like,
well, now I will say, from a female perspective, I've never had a miscarriage.
Yeah.
But I have had friends who have had abortions and miscarriages, and I do know of a couple friends who have done things like collected the
yeah,
and they've taken it and buried it under a tree, or had a little ceremony for it. So I get it, but it was very odd. It was like the box was decorated in a really odd way, and it was a very teen girl thing to do.
Yeah, it wasn't the burying it that I completely get that. I'm just like, it's just sitting in her bathroom.
Yeah.
Like it's like, oh, I'm gonna do my makeup later. Oh, this is
yeah.
It's just like, oh, okay. I mean, again, us men will never ever ever understand in most cases what, like, you know, the like bleeding out randomly once a month is just like it changes the world for you, I would assume.
Oh yeah, because I mean, like, then you have moments like I've been dealing with, I got my birth control swab, so of course what would happen in that moment, you know, would be that you would bleed for a month and a half.
Oh.
So, you know, that's normal.
And tampons are expensive, so you're going through the fucking funds at that point.
Yeah, so I mean,
c'est
la vie or whatever.
I mean, and that's why, like, I think I like enjoyed this film and had questions, but I'm like, I know that this movie was meant as a female expression piece, like on a lot of levels, right? And so it's like, I'm never going to understand everything about this movie. I'm never going to understand what this director's.
But it wasn't. It's not set up for that either. It's one of those ones that
Right.
is purposefully not explaining, so there's more of a conversation about it. But I feel like most movies that are, I don't even know, like they tend to explain a little bit and then leave a couple questions. This one I feel like was very, yeah, these are just the things.
I mean, the principal who was supposed to be her dad, like, seemed to know something, but you not quite sure what. You don't ever get what he was trying to do with all these women. Like, he was trying to stay young or something. I'm not completely sure. I don't know. Josh is talking about he's been talking about the buttholes for most of the podcast. If you haven't seen this weird fucking movie, like, Johnny gets taken when the cop takes her home. And it was I did like that because they had completely made you think the cop was the person doing it. But I'm like, that's too obvious because of the opening scene is the killer.
Well, the principal and his like love interest are just getting a bunch of fucking plastic surgery. That was it. Like they're obsessed with plastic surgery.
What was with him running around with a Walter White mask in his underwear, just screaming at
what was with most of the things?
It's very surreal, and I don't.
That scene where they're having like an assembly, and she's like attached to the sphincter on his chest. Fuck me, and then everyone, oh yeah, fuck me. Fuck me. I'm like, what is happening?
That was to distract them from
I know it was, but like it was very awkward.
It wasn't even to distract him. She was yelling it because she was in pain because she was like psychically linked with him for some reason because of the whatever. Yeah, from the sphincter. But like everyone else was doing it because they thought she was like,
yes, I know,
making some. Yeah, I don't know.
Exactly. But there's a scene right there that we just described to your ear holes, and that's the sense that this whole movie makes right there. There is none.
Yeah. I mean, you could ask so many questions. So after they all get murder killed from the school shooting where he's running around like dressed up like American Psycho with like a raincoat and a weird mask and squirting people with like red, just ruining these girls' clothes. And those uniforms have to be expensive. And then all the girls are mad that they're going to be
exactly what I said in my head when I was watching this. I'm like, that is just, he is a dick.
Yeah.
Like, that is not going to be easy to get out of those clothes.
And they're going to be in trouble for getting murder killed during this drill because
they're going to get went slaughtered for being
they were under the desk like they were supposed to be. I mean, they never explained this shit. Like,
yeah,
there are so many scenes in this movie where you're just like, what? The girlfriend who's like the guidance counselor or whatever the fuck she is, she's like interviewing her when she's starting, and she's like, "Are you sexually active?" Why are you asking this fucking girl if she's sexually active? Like when she's like, she was 17 at that point, and it's just like, what does that have to do with your school? What does that have to do with like anything? Like it is a very, but like I feel like there's this thing where sex is such a weird entity for women, right? Like where women is like are made to feel like sex objects and all this stuff. And I just think there's a lot this director was trying to get out about living as a woman in modern times and like how like stuff comes across. It's just like sitting there, you're like, I think this was what like it was a message about it. I'm not sure what the message was. I mean, I'm not sure like why did Alicia Silverstone make her eat something that she had stolen? It's kind of like that old thing where you like your dad catches you smoking and he makes you smoke a carton of cigarettes, like kind of thing. Like
and then you're addicted for life.
And then you have the most expensive habit of all time. You smoke a carton of cigarettes a day. I don't think you could smoke a carton of cigarettes a day. Like I think if you had a cigarette lit from. Yeah, I don't. Maybe you could. I don't know.
I used
Pretty
to smoke
impressive.
when I smoked. It was like over 10 years ago. I smoked 2 packs a day, which is 50 cigarettes a day.
Isn't it 40? There's 20 in a pack.
25 in Canada.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Canada has 25 cigarettes in a pack? Weird.
Yeah, they're
Canada's
long. They're like like your packs are like that, and they open like that.
Yeah.
Ours, like you push it up from the bottom, and then there's 2 sleeves.
It sounds like a matchbox, but with cigarettes.
Yeah.
What is going on with your lighting over there, Ken?
Sorry.
No, I'm just like it's like light bright. It's like you're light 1 second and then not light and then light.
Look, she's great.
Ken's giving thumbs up. Thumbs up. No,
look at that lighting, Ken. What happened?
You know,
sometimes magical.
Turn the
things
house
happen,
lights
Josh.
off. I don't have
honestly,
any house
that would
lights
probably
on.
work. It would probably work.
Yeah. I mean, just as long as Weasel's not there to like cause havoc. So
yeah, I locked her out of the room. So
Weasel, the destroyer of streams. Weasel, the destroyer of streams.
I have my RGB lights and my 1 key light. And that's it. I turn off everything else.
I feel like my lights are like I'm going on to an archaeological dig site, and like I'm just like.
You have the 2 key lights, right? Like those Elgato key lights or whatever.
Oh no, they're just like weird, big. They're like square LED lights on stands.
Yeah, but it's essentially the same thing.
Yeah, but they're like 6 feet tall.
yeah, I have my key lights, but I don't have them on right now.
Yeah,
That's why you look so much better on stream, because you have your key lights on.
I don't have them on stream right now either.
What are you doing differently on stream? Like I came into your stream, I'm like, what the fuck? Why do you look like
normally
good?
On stream I have my ring light on. I don't have it on right now, but
what the fuck, Kin?
last week I had the ring light on during this and it looked the same. So
yeah.
What is happening?
It's Weasel. Weasel's trying to sabotage her.
When I get back, it'll all be, or like when I get a chance, I'll get it all squared away.
You're good, Ken. You are wonderful and beautiful in any way.
I love
so it's okay.
Busting your balls, especially with I love lighting. So, but
no, please do, because my
bust
lighting
your
right
balls.
now, I have everything to make it great, and yet here I am. So no, you are good.
Ken is ADHD as the rest of us, Josh. It's okay. We understand.
I literally can't remember last week. So
yeah. Ken's like, I don't know what day of the week it is. Which is true. I don't know what day though. It is Sunday, right? Yeah. I watched a football.
Yeah, it's a weird day for us.
Football started again.
oh my Jesus Christ. But I don't know, like I know that football started I guess last week for college football, because Starfield came out, and my old neighbor who watches the stream was like, UT football, baby. I'm taking this weekend off to watch the game and play Starfield. And I was like, all right. Well, then all I see on Twitter today, or X, or whatever the bullshit is, this person's playing football, sports. And then somebody came in the stream today and they were like, did you watch the football game on Saturday? And I was like, no.
Why would I?
I went to UTK. I attended 0 football games in my time there. I went to a football game when I was young. I never went to a football game when I was there. I have no desire.
I'm Canadian. So who fucking cares about football?
It's just hockey there. Hockey, eh?
I don't even care about hockey anymore. I don't care about sports. Sports are for girls, man. Like, seriously. I love saying that, because people that love sports, that's the number one thing they'll defend against. What? What do you mean? Yeah, sports are for girls.
Sports are for everyone, Josh.
No,
It's
sports are for girls.
It's in the game.
It's in the
Kids
game.
knows. Sports are for your mom, Josh. Also,
anytime I went to a hockey game, I would just yell out, "Sports!" That was it.
I do want to talk about one thing about this film that I'm just like, you could tell the budget, the face thing that we kind of mentioned a little bit, where like whenever these characters that you don't know what's happening, it kind of looks like Clayface or something like that. Like they're morphing, or like the Harry Potter when they take. Yeah,
what was that show?
I was like, maybe you guys should have thought of some other way to do this, because you could tell you didn't have a huge budget.
After Effects.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. I'm like,
wiggle expressions between.
Also, the weird face thing is like, it was an oddity, because like she did it to her like girlfriend, and her girlfriend's like didn't even like blink an eye. Her girlfriend was like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, that's normal.
Yeah, it's normal.
Gen Z is very accepting.
Yeah, I mean, but as we stated earlier, Ken, she's not Gen Z.
No, I know.
She's older than you.
I wish. I mean, yeah. She's out. She's older than I am.
Ken is 21, guys. She's been 21 for like
21.
Let me tell you, I love streaming, because one day you'll have somebody that comes in and they're like, oh my God, what is it like to be 40? And I'm like, I don't know. And then another day you'll have somebody come in and be like, so how old are you going to be next year? And I'm like, I don't know. How old do you think I'm going to be? And they're like, well, you're still in your like mid 20s, right? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. That sounds good. And then the next day somebody's like, God, you need to eat a sandwich. And I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. And then the next day somebody is like, God, you're so fucking morbidly obese. I'm like, yep, that's cool. Can we just decide something at this point? Because I don't know.
No, because none of that is actually based on reality, Ken. All of that is based on people coming in and trying to make you feel horrible. And so it's
so funny, because I'm like, I don't understand what we're accomplishing. But I did like the one that was like, what's it like to be 40? Like, I don't know. You tell me. And then I wanted to be like, when you get out of your mom's basement, you tell me, but I live in my parents' basement, so I can't.
I mean, they wouldn't know that, Ken. So, I mean, stream is about making people suffer. As my stream's favorite thing to do is make me eat these Bean Boozled things.
Nope.
Why would you even buy it? Why would you even buy it? I would just be like, you know what? I'm not buying it.
I didn't buy it. I was sent them, and then decided it was a good idea to make a channel point reward where I would eat one every day.
Just a channel point, not even a donation.
I forgot about my possum flavored candy canes.
See, for stuff that's like disgusting, I would be like, yeah, if you donate something, then it would trigger something disgusting.
I just noticed something on this for the first time. It says on the corner of this box, not intended for children under 13 years of age.
Oh my God.
Well, it's a good thing that you're 40.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
What's it like to be 40?
I'm old and everything hurts, Ken.
Listen, I can't picture any of us being the ages we are. And then Crispy today comes in and is like talking about his daughter is going to get driver's education. And I was like, excuse me, what the fuck? Because I remember when this child was like 5.
Man.
My entire soul left my body. I was like, no.
No. Oh, okay. Neither one of you went and saw the shit show that was The Nun 2, right? Which I hear is better than the first one, but that's like saying...
Is that going to show up on the Plex server by any chance?
When in the normal amount of time.
Okay. Yeah.
There are cam... I don't do cam shit.
Yeah, no, please don't.
It's
not 2002 anymore. We don't need that shit.
I'm sure cams have gotten a lot better. I just don't care for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck that noise. Fuck it in the booty hole.
Like this movie did.
There were a lot of booty holes.
Yeah, this finger or this movie loves to finger assholes.
I would really like to know what that whole purpose was. They don't explain any of it. They don't explain what he was doing. They don't explain. It's like it's like the stereotype of a man being a creepazoid, but like amplified because of everything else. I don't know. Again, it's told from a woman's perspective. It makes sense. I don't think men are supposed to understand this movie, but Kin doesn't understand it either, and she's a woman, so I don't fucking know who understands this film.
I think I was supposed to watch it like 3 more times, and then I could be like, "Oh, this is
I think you need to watch this movie on a full moon while on your period and
while
then
on your
it.
period.
If you're not watching this movie while on your period, you will never understand it. So
can I say
you're not watching
watched
this movie while squatting with nothing on, while on your period, while doing a Shia LaBeouf art piece.
Shia LaBeouf.
You're not gonna understand.
Painting your father, an image of your father with your period blood.
Yes.
Like, then you're not
making a period piece.
Just watch the new Ninja Turtles instead. It's fun. It's a good one. That's what I gotta say. Just watch the new Ninja Turtles instead. You'll have fun.
You know what's great about having a period for a month? Is that when you finally finish that period for a month, guess what? Your cycle doesn't reset. So you start your period again on your regular cycle date. So you get to start it all over again and hope like hell you don't have it for another month.
Oh,
I've heard of that.
I had one of my exes had that happen to her too. I was like, oh my God. And then I moved out.
This is why women hate us, Josh.
I'm kidding, by the way. But
women hate us for this specific trait.
When they have a period for their month and you leave them, that it just doesn't go over well.
No, you know what? I'm out. Fuck.
I did see a guy on Reddit that was talking about asking if he was the asshole for wanting his girlfriend to stay in a hotel because her periods are relatively short. They're only 4 days. And so he wanted her to stay in a hotel for those 4 days while she was on her period. And does that make him an asshole?
That makes him a ginormous asshole.
I would lose my shit. But then the other part of me was kind of like, you know what? Actually, no, fuck him. He can pay for it. It has to be a nice hotel. He has to provide all kinds of extra stuff for it. And then maybe I'd think about it.
Can you imagine though, like putting
how would you present that to your significant other? Dude, I find you too disgusting to be around while you're bleeding
I don't know about
from your
maybe
orifice
it's not disgusting.
that I put things in.
Maybe she's just really not the most fun to be around.
Dude, you know what? If he paid for it and I was her, I'd be like, okay, I'll do it. And then I would just like eat everything out of the little mini fridge and then like order room service. And then
that's what I'm saying. Like, fuck it.
He's just trying to cheat on her and make it a lot easier as well, right? Like, you know? Oh, she's not here.
This is a statement. Mm-hmm. This is a statement.
I mean, that's yes, you're an asshole. I'm gonna just yes.
Yeah, no, I thought the guy was an asshole too.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Also, this girl was gorgeous. The actress in this movie, she's pretty.
Oh yeah,
with the hair.
Yes,
her hair was fantastic. When it was like, I was like, oh my God.
She's a very pretty lady. And I feel way better that she's 30 or 29 than like saying an 18-year-old because. Yes.
All the 18-year-olds were like in their mid-20s or late 20s.
Well, I mean, her and her whole squad seemed like they were like 30, so it makes sense.
Because they were.
Okay, what are we watching next week? Do we have any movies lined up?
I don't know. There's that one I just talked about. There's also, have you ever seen Daybreakers?
That sounds familiar. Is that about the vampires?
Yeah.
Ooh, I think that's a really good movie.
I have seen that. Yes, a long time ago with Ethan Hunt.
Yeah, it's got some heavy hitters.
I love that.
Or Ethan Hawke.
Yeah.
I would love to dive into that. 2010's Daybreakers.
Yeah.
We can watch that. I'm okay with that.
Some William Dafoe and Sam Neill.
Dude, if we're gonna do William Dafoe movies on here, I'd rather do Antichrist at some point because that's one of those movies I've never seen. I want to do that
at some point.
Yes, maybe we do that for Halloween next month. Have you seen the Antichrist
next week?
Fun for Halloween.
You want to know the fun fact about
castration scenes for Halloween?
You want to know the fun fact about that film? They had to get a stunt penis stubble for William Dafoe because his cock was too big. They're like, his dick is too big. It doesn't look right. We need to get a smaller dick. So if you ever like you want to know how great William Dafoe is, and I will never not love William Dafoe because, especially after Boondock Saints and how incredible he is in that movie, and he's like the things he says in that movie that you can't say in 2023. But yes, I think I saw Daybreakers a long time. I do love Ethan Hawke, and
I just remember that movie just being like, wow, all these heavy hitters, and it was like, I just remember the movie being kind of like, whoa. I didn't think they were going to do this. It was a fun one. I would love to rewatch that. It's been a while.
Let's do that. Oh, fun. We'll do Antichrist before before Halloween. I want to do Antichrist though. So because I've never seen it.
I've only seen the highlights. The crazy.
I think I watched it a long time ago, so I'm definitely down to rewatch.
I own it,
Antichrist,
and hasn't been cracked open yet. It was one of those ones that someone was like, "Yeah, just skip that one, man." And I own it. It's still in the plastic.
I mean, but let's talk about it, Josh. You were told to skip. You avoided Martyrs. You avoided. There's a lot of movies that you avoided.
No, I don't want to. I do not want to avoid it because everyone that I have avoided, I'm like, what the fuck? What is wrong with this movie? Like, Martyrs was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Okay, so next week, Daybreakers from 2009. We'll do that. Okay, go to murdermoose.com where you find all our episodes. Go to Murder Moose Pod on Twitter, and we're there, or X, whatever the fuck it's called. Joshwrb.com, Kintinue.com, and also twitch.tv/Kintinue. So follow her there because she's wonderful, and her community is wonderful, and she's magical. I'm Rod_Johnston on Twitter and Twitch and all those things. So follow me there, and yeah, come join her. I don't know, do whatever. So we love you. Thank you for listening. Next week's Daybreakers, and we'll catch you later. Bye. Bye. It's in the game. It's in the game. I thought Ken was doing Nurgle noises.